Hi, YouTube. Evan Manship with Mainstay Property Group and Midwest Cash Offer. Another day, another video. This one a little bit different than some of the others I've made. This one's specific to an instance that I think is applicable to anyone who owns property, has owned property, or will own property in the Indiana, hell, Indianapolis, or the Indiana as a whole. Um, this video over the next, call it 10 minutes, is going to be as specific as possible on what it looks like, not necessarily to file a property tax appeal or how property is assessed in Indiana, but more or less a step-by-step process on how you can achieve true, real property tax savings and implement that into your strategy to essentially uh, thrash your competition. Some people will underwrite deals and look at the property tax bill and say, "Ooh, you're not touching it because uh, that property tax bill is super high, and I don't want to pay it, and I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just going to walk away from the deal." Well, newsflash: I'm coaching my clients on how to alleviate that from their underwriting side of things and how to implement what you're going to see in this video to make sure that they see a property tax bill, they don't freak out about it or not worry about it, so that they can effectively budget for it and make sure that they're realizing the savings and the money necessary to make a deal pencil or not. So this uh, deal or this project I'm going to walk you through is my personal residence, the same house I'm sitting in right now. My wife and I filed an appeal in late May of 2019 this year, and just today a settlement with the Marion County Assessor's Office to essentially implement a value that's really going to save us some serious money come hell, next 60 days, 30 days, whenever I can get my refund check. So without further ado, I'm going to start walking through this a little bit, and there might be some repetitive information on another property tax video I did, so forgive me if so, but let's just dive in. I've got here, this is a publicly available tool to look up record cards. If you're even sort of entertaining the idea of investing in Indianapolis and you don't have this saved as your favorites, uh, you're doing yourself a huge disservice and you're likely going to lose money. So please understand how to find record cards. This is super easy. The link's right here at the top. So I'll put that in the stickers as well. Anyway, this is the record card for my wife and I's house, 8624 Bay Colony Drive. We live near the Eagle Creek uh, reservoir. We could throw a stone and hit the water from our house. So love the area, private, neat, very very cool. Um, but as cool as it is, it was hugely overassessed when we bought the thing to the point where we were paying a good deal in property tax each year that we wouldn't have to pay. It's supposed to pay. So if you look here and you look at the record card, this will show how the size of the house, when the house was built, what the house, what the government thinks the house is worth. Obviously, that's what all these numbers are. But if you go down here and look, you can see, hey, here's the house, here's when it was built, yada 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 yada. Right. So all this nonsense leads to the fact of great, and then turns out this value right here. So when my wife and I bought the house, which the record card also shows in September, no, hell, it wasn't technically September, it was actually late August, but August 30th of 2018 is when we closed. Um, the government thought our house was worth $611,200, right? So, there's kind of a guess on there, and they don't go out and physically inspect every property and tally all this stuff up. They use what's called mass appraisal. They take comparable properties, they take what they think your size is, what they think your condition is. They plug it into this formula right here. All this nonsense here, blah 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 blah. I go into how they get that, but it doesn't matter. They plug it into that formula, boom, they spit out this value, right? So the government thought my house was worth $611,200, and they're wrong. It was worth $550,000. Cool. So right out of the gate, they think it's worth 611. BS. I bought it for $550,000. So what I was able to do is, granted the 2018 tax appeal deadline had already passed, but in May I was able to file a tax appeal. It's a Form 130, or what layman's terms is a property tax appeal form. The taxpayer's initiative of an appeal. So very simple. I'll just load up the form real quick to show show you what this is. This is a super, super, super simple form. You're talking maybe 10 minutes to fill this thing out, and it can save you a lot of money. So anyway, this is a Form 130. I've already gone over this, but blah, 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 filling all this stuff. One thing I do want to point out that saves people a lot of money and a lot of time. This is a terrific example of government being government. The property described in this section is currently assessed at blank. They need to see this information. They needed to see that the land was assessed uh, uh, at $66,200. They needed to see that the property was assessed at whatever the hell it was. But what they don't need to see is what you think it's assessed at. This is the equivalent of answering a question when the cop pulls you over. Where are you going tonight? Where are you coming from? Who are you going to see? Are you from around here? None of their damn business. The less you answer, the better, because this will be used against you in the court of Marion County Assessor's Office. So, anyway, this is your appeal form. This is what we filled out in May. I think it was May 23 or May 24 of 2019. So this year, we filled out all this information and we just mailed it. If you get it postmarked by the appeal deadline, you're good. Something I have to say, there are two different ways that that appeal deadlines go into effect in the state of Indiana. The first way is through what's called a Form 11, and it looks like just a normal piece of paper, 8.5 by 11-inch piece of paper, printer paper, and it says, here's what your assessment was on 2018, here's what your assessment is in 2019, here's the percentage difference, deal with it. And from the second you get that piece of paper, you have 45 days, or when that was mailed, you have 45 days to initiate an appeal through your local assessor's office. Some counties do it Form 11. Other counties, including Marion County, which is what a lot of you people are looking at, Marion County essentially just issues a tax bill. It's like eating at a restaurant. They just throw your bill at you, and then if you don't complain, they're not going to take off anything they did wrong. So there's no form. There's no, hey, this is coming. Hey, check this out. Your assessment went up by 10%, whatever else it is. They just send you the bill. They sling it at you, and if you don't whine and you don't throw a temper tantrum about it, they're not going to change anything. So I'm not saying to frivolously file appeals, but in Marion County, if you get your property tax bill and you say, and you don't file an appeal within 45 days, sayonara, you're out of luck, and then you're off to the next assessment year before you have a chance to appeal. So I always recommend people at least appealing. You can always withdraw it without penalty. So always appeal, and then if you need to kick the can down the road a little bit later, so be it. So anyway, here's our Form 130. We filed this in May, let's call it 24 of 2019 this year. So fast forward to, let's see. So I got I got a phone call. I'm sorry. This past Thursday, and I didn't call her back till Friday, from Stacy D. Moyer. And Stacy said, yada yada. We got your thing. We think it's overassessed. First word out of her mouth. I didn't have to say anything. All I did was fill out that appeal form, mail it to the assessor's office. She called me, and the first words out of her mouth, hey, sorry, we got that one wrong. We think that's overassessed too. So I sit there in silence, like everyone should. Okay, great. How can we get that fixed? And Stacy said, yeah, we saw it on the MLS. We saw that it sold for $550,000. We saw on public record it sold for $550,000. So we're going to go ahead and mark it down to $550,000, which is in my thought, hell, great. Let's do it. So just so everyone knows, this is the BLC or the MLS for most of Indianapolis. This is my house, and this is what they have access to as well. So they can see, look, it was listed at $575. I bought it for $550. And the coolest part about this, well, let me back up before I even show you this. Let's go back to Stacy here. So Stacy said, hey, great speaking with you, yada, yada, yada. These assessed values reflect the blah, 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 market values. This makes the recent sale. I suggest the value should be $550,000. Cool. Couldn't agree more. So I was cool with it. Gave her the thumbs up. So she said, here, I'm going to send you a couple forms. Let me know if you'd like to proceed with our offer of $550,000. And that's what it is. It's an offer. They're offering to change it for $550,000 without any level of formal appeal work or showing up to make a presentation or involving an attorney or anything. I file a piece of paper. She called me and said, hey, we screwed up. Let me fix it for you, and sent me this email. Okay? this is what she sent me. This is called the Indiana State Form 134, which is blah, 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 blah. Look at this. Here's the house. Here's the legal description. Here's the parcel number, yada, yada. Do you agree to this? 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 And based on arm's length sale and negative fair market value adjustment was made at blah, 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 blah. Right? So this is 17T form. This is essentially how do you want to get paid? Do you want to apply it to the next year's tax bill? Do you want a check in hand, whatever? So just for you guys alone, I said, look, I want a check. I know I'm gonna have to pay a property tax bill anyway on this thing, so it's no big deal. But I wanted to check just so I can show you, and just so I can see from the second I sent this, which is today, the 1st of October, how long it takes from the second I say I want to check to when I have it in my hand. So we'll follow up on this video. But anyway, so blah 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 sounds good. So I sent this back to her today. And you can see she's already made the change. So she didn't even wait on me to say it's cool. She didn't wait on my paperwork whatsoever. I sent this a couple hours ago, 8 o'clock Eastern, so there's no way she was in the office. But she's already made the change, or someone's made the change from $611,000 to 550. So 611,200 minus 550,000. So times 0.0125. Everyone says that primary residences are capped at 1%. That's not true, technically, in the state of Indiana. And then investment properties are capped at 2%. Not true, technically, in the state of Indiana, but you can use 1% or 2%. I like to use 1 and change or 2 and change, just to account for stormwater stuff and special assessments and so on and so forth. So anyway, I took the difference between my current assessment minus my new assessment, that difference in assessed value times 0.0125, and that's $800, which is a lot of money, right? That's great. That's great news. So obviously that's great news for 1 year. But the beautiful thing about when you negotiate something with the assessors, you can ask for them to roll the value, not just for the year you assess, but also for the next year. So what I told her on the phone is, look, it's already October of 2019, and you're agreeing that today the value is $550,000. Wouldn't one agree that it's also $550,000 here in 3 months when the date is January 1, 2020? And she's like, oh yeah, I think that'd be fair. So not only am I going to get and I'll follow up on this as well, but not only am I going to get this $550,000 new assessed value for 2019, I'm going to get this $550,000 assessment for 2020 as well. And then I can go off the rails with this, but the state of Indiana reassesses every property, traditional homes, investment homes, vacation homes, commercial stuff, amusement parks, industrial complexes, you name it. Everything gets reassessed every 4 years, 2012, 2016, 2020, 2024, 2028. So the fact that I'm getting a rolled assessment from 2019 to 2020 means that my reassessment value for 2020 is going to be $550,000, which means it's going to roll to some degree, but mostly stay at $550,000, give or take, until 2024. So I've saved myself $675 over let's call it, is that one time for one, so 5 years, right? $3,800, and it took me 10 minutes to file a thing. So can be a huge, huge, huge value if you know what you're doing and know how to effectively communicate this to the assessment official. They're not going to offer this up, but it is an easy tool for them to agree to. So the last thing I'll leave you with, and I'm running out of time here, is the beautiful part about all this is the $550,000 purchase price is how we bought the house already. So I can sit here and show you my house. Yeah, there's my pool. But some of the stuff that you see, we spent a lot of money changing. Look at this nasty floor here. It's not there. It's not there. This our kitchen's completely, well, a little bit the same, but a lot of our flooring. I completely changed my bar. Completely changed my office here. Completely changed the basement I'm sitting in right now. New floor, new paint, new carpet, new roof, new gutters. We spent $18,000 on paint on our house. So we spent all this time, all this money, all this energy to improve a house that we bought for $550,000. But the assessors don't know that. Stacy Moyer doesn't know that. She has no clue how much money you spent to improve the property. All she knows is how much you bought the property for. So my house right now was worth well in excess of $650,000, probably closer to $700,000, and I just got a property tax reduction of $550,000. I hope this helps very much. Best of luck in your investment ventures.